Hello, welcome to my English garden. My name is Jane Savage, and today I'm going to read you Caps for Sale by Esfir Slobokin. Once there was a peddler who sold caps, but he was not like an ordinary peddler, carrying his wares on his back. He carried them on top of his head. First he had his own gray check cap, and then he had a bunch of gray caps, and then brown caps, and then blue caps, and at the very top, a bunch of red caps. He walked up and down the streets holding himself very straight so as not to upset his caps. And as he went along, he called, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." One morning, he couldn't sell any caps. He walked up and down the street calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." But nobody wanted any caps that morning. No one even wanted a red cap. He began to feel very hungry, but he had no money for lunch. "I think I'll go for a walk in the country," said he, and he walked out of town. Slowly, slowly, so as not to upset his caps. He walked for a long time until he came to a great big tree. "That's a nice place for rest," thought he, and he sat down very slowly under the tree, and he leaned back little by little against the tree trunk so as not to disturb the caps on his head. And then he put his hand up to feel if they were straight. First his check cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and then the red caps at the very top. They were all there, so he went to sleep. He slept for a long time. And when he woke up, he was refreshed and rested. Before standing up, he felt with his hand to make sure the caps were in the right place. All he felt was his own check cap. He looked to the right of him, no caps. He looked to the left of him, no caps. He looked in back of him, no caps. He looked behind the tree, no caps. Then he looked up into the tree, and what do you think he saw? On every branch sat a monkey, and on every monkey was a gray, a brown, a blue, or a red cap. He looked at the monkeys. The monkeys looked at the peddler. He didn't know what to do. Finally, he spoke to them. "You monkeys, you," he said, "give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their fingers back at him and said, "Tsk, tsk, tsk." This made the peddler angry, so he shook both hands at them and said, "You monkeys, you, give me back my caps." But the monkeys only shook their hands back at him and said, "Tsk, tsk, tsk." Now he was quite angry. He stamped his foot and he said, "You monkeys, you, give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped their feet back at him and said, "Tsk, tsk, tsk." By this time, the peddler was really very, very angry. He stamped both his feet. He shouted, "You monkeys, you must give me back my caps." But the monkeys only stamped both their feet back at him and said, "Tsk, tsk, tsk." At last he became so angry, he pulled off his own cap, threw it on the ground, and began to walk away. But then each monkey pulled off his cap, and all the gray caps, all the brown caps, all the blue caps, all the red caps came flying down out of the tree. So the peddler picked up his caps. He put them back on his head. First his own check cap, then the gray caps, then the brown caps, then the blue caps, and the red ones on the very top. And slowly, slowly, he walked back to town calling, "Caps, caps for sale, 50 cents a cap." The end. Thank you for coming to my English garden, and please come back again.